We won't be seeing Doctor Who for another year. The Sea Devil spin-off is this year, and Russell T Davies has left Doctor Who for good, potentially. There's been a lot of news yesterday, so let's break down everything that's happened. So to kick off, yesterday the BBC announced that Disney had pulled out of their Doctor Who deal. Now, in case you didn't know what that was all about, basically Disney were funding it, or at least helping to fund it, in exchange for international distribution rights. As a result, we got two of the most misguided series of television ever made, clearly with the massive hand of the mouse fucking things. It's a good thing that Disney have pulled out. Okay, the money was nice, and I'll admit Doctor Who did look really good. Did it look better than it did in the Capaldi era? I don't think so. I think the Capaldi era did a better job with less money. I think the Matt Smith era did a better job with less money, for the record. And now that TV is so desperate to be long-form movies, but maintaining the quality of movies, and it takes 4 years to make a season of fucking Severance, I'm quite glad at the idea of Doctor Who having a bit less money, because it might force them to, make TV like it should be. So it's not 8 movies a year, it's just 13 kind of shit-looking episodes, but that's actually well written. And preferably yearly, but let's not worry about that for now. Anyway, the BBC announced that Disney are pulling out, which we all knew was coming. I don't know why they haven't announced this earlier, because it happened a long time ago. But the BBC are reassuring us that Doctor Who is not going anywhere and it is coming back for a 2026 Christmas special, which makes this, the gap between the reality war and Christmas 2026, that longer than the entire time Ncuti Gatwa was the Doctor. Billy Piper is the Doctor longer than Ncuti Gatwa. Insane. Anyway, there's no Christmas special this year. I don't think anyone was expecting them, but in this article they do say that the war between the land and the sea, that spin-off they have zero faith in, is coming out this year. I think it might be quite good. Pete McTighe wrote the best episode of Series 15, Lucky Day, anyway, so, obviously he's the next showrunner, but we'll get to that. I'll take a spin-off that's mostly written by him. That's what I'm saying. Also, Lucky Day was the first episode of that spin-off, in case that wasn't painstakingly obvious. Kate Stewart and that whole I'm gonna get sacked from unit bollocks. It was the backdoor pilot. Lucky Day is the first episode of the war between the land and the sea. I don't understand why I've not seen anyone else mention this. It's bizarre. Anyway, bloody good pilot. I'm looking forward to the show. Stating that the TARDIS remains at the heart of the BBC, they have said that they will give us information on the next series in due course. Now that does tell us that they're planning a new series. Now that could absolutely go into the pooper. Could get cancelled, but they're definitely still planning it, presumably just funding it themselves without Disney, which is a good thing. We all knew it was going to happen because, they handled fine before Disney. In fact, they handled better without Disney. They made more episodes per year and they were better. And it was also more consistent. Ridiculous. Anyway, but the most interesting thing, the biggest thing, the most important thing about this entire article is the wording they used, okay, for the 2026 Christmas special. The BBC remains fully committed to Doctor Who, which continues to be one of our most loved dramas, and we are delighted that Russell T Davies has agreed to write us another spectacular Christmas special for 2026. Right, so he's already quit, and he's washed his hands of the entire thing, and they haven't hired a new showrunner, and they've got him back to write one more, because he's the only writer, I think, in the world that wants to write Doctor Who, so he can presumably fix his mess. Maybe it's just bad wording, but let's be honest, we all knew Russell T Davies was probably going to be out after this anyway, and the fact that he agreed to do it, he's the showrunner, he's the writer. What do you mean he agreed? That's his job. That's the thing he does for fun. If he has to agree to it, he's definitely already quit. So yeah, Russell T Davies is absolutely gone. This will be his last episode. It'll be his swan song. It'll probably be one of the better ones of his era, his second era, simply because it's the end. He doesn't have to fill a season. He doesn't have to think of a season finale. All he has to do is explain why Rose is the face of the Doctor and try and convince the general public that David Tennant coming back one last time is a good idea. Because let's be honest, this special is going to serve as a sort of closing moment for the entirety of New Who, specifically Rose and the Doctor. Now, getting into theory territory here, it's very simple. Rose looked into the heart of the TARDIS. Funnily enough, the Doctor regenerated into the heart of the TARDIS. Whose face will the Doctor have next? Will it be Rose's face, or will Rose just come out the TARDIS? Also, Billie Piper as the Doctor still got the regeneration energy going. When's that happened before? Oh, we've never... The Doctors, once their face changes, the regeneration energy goes away. Except when they bioregenerate. Who's she looking at when she says, oh, hello? Well, since they abandoned the really clever idea of admitting Doctor Who was a TV show all along, she's not talking to the audience, because they're clearly never going anywhere with that, because narratively the only way that made sense was if the Rani was still around, and well, technically one of them still is. We're never seeing that character ever again. He's killed her forever. She's looking at the other Doctor. She's looking at Ncuti Gatwa. Now, I'm going to be bold here, and I'm going to say if the BBC can say come back for one more special, not come back to the show forever, I would love that. I would love to see Ncuti Gatwa for more, but I think like even the BBC can't convince him like there's a good reason to come back forever. I think they would be smart to have Ncuti Gatwa come back for one 90-minute special, bioregenerate with Rose, and they can just sort of tie everything up together. Rose can go and live with the Doctor or whatever. Ncuti Gatwa can have a proper Dalek special. Please do it. Please do the Daleks. He'll fight the Daleks. Proper Swan Song episode. He'll regenerate. We'll get, I don't know, I'll probably Russell Tovey or something. Pete McTighe will take over. Bing Bang Bosh. And yeah, that's what I reckon is going to happen. Or not. Let me know in the comments what you think is going to happen. I think there's a pretty good chance. Well, I think it's pretty definite that this is Russell T Davies' last episode. I think there's a pretty good chance that Rose is actually just Rose rather than the Doctor. And I think they do have a chance, the possibility to bring Ncuti Gatwa back. Also, David Tennant's obviously going to be in it, which is... I mean, I like it. I love David Tennant. I'd have no problem seeing him again. I just don't think it's going to go down well in North Korea. I mean, Twitter. But yeah, to sum up, Disney's out. BBC is still making the show, specifically mentioning they'll have news on another series, which will probably start filming next year when they pick a new Doctor. I'm assuming that's going to be what leads to the public announcements. Release 2027. I'm expecting 6 episodes, to be honest. David Tennant's probably back. I really hope Ncuti Gatwa's back. Rose is probably Rose. Russell T Davies is gone. Pete McTighe will take over. And in the next 60 days, we're going to have a spin-off called The War Between the Land and the Sea. I'm kind of excited. Maybe I'll revitalise this channel and make videos about it, since I didn't make any videos after the show got really bad 6 months ago. At some point I'll review Wishworld and the Reality War like I did all the other videos, just to say that I've done it. I can call this channel a project that I completed, but I've written it. 6,000 words I wrote on Wishworld and the Reality War, and I couldn't bring myself to actually say it all out loud and edit it. What I will say, though, is if this isn't Russell T Davies' last episode of Doctor Who, and he's going to continue being the showrunner, this Christmas one he's writing had better be fucking spectacular, or the public are just not going to take it. Alright, that's all I got. At some point I'm going to revitalise the channel and make Doctor Who videos regularly, so feel free to subscribe or whatever, I don't care. Love you.